What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to address the potential of a $2.5 trillion spending bill. Going to give you a stimulus package update. We're going to dive into the debt ceiling. We're also going to talk about free community college and how this is either going to be in the bill or how it will not. So make sure you stick around for that. Today, Senator Bernie Sanders said, and I quote, 88% believe we should lower prescription drug costs. 84% think we should expand Medicare. 73% support establishing paid family and medical leave. 67% want universal pre-K. Here's a radical idea. Let's listen to the American people and let's get it done. And let me ask you this. Are you tired of lawmakers asking, what do you want to pass? What do you want in this bill? And we provide feedback just like this. 88% believe we should lower prescription drugs. Okay, 84% believe we should expand Medicare. So they are asking the questions, but yet when we give them the response, they don't actually listen. So are you tired of lawmakers asking the questions, but not caring what our response is? Let me know down in the comment section below. Now, Democratic senators were very close. They were on the verge of getting a $3.5 trillion stimulus package done. This was the Human Infrastructure Bill, the Build Back Better plan, the Build Back Better Act, right? The social spending plan, whatever you decide to call it, okay? This was until moderates, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, decided to hold up 48 other Democrats and say that no, we do not agree on the price tag. They opposed the price. Manchin said he supports $1.5 trillion and he will not go over that. However, according to multiple reports, if he is pressed, he will agree to $2 trillion. This is actually something that, according to White House aides, they believe as well. Well, we do know that Kyrsten Sinema, according to multiple reports, she is supportive of $2 trillion. However, she has other requests as well. And progressives say that $2.5 trillion is going to be their lowest price. If moderates want to pass that $1.2 trillion bill, then they have to come up to $2.5 trillion. So let me just explain this for a second. Because right now, we got Democrats are fighting each other. We got progressives that want 3.5 trillion, however, will come down to 2.5. We got moderates who want 1.5 trillion and other things as well. They will come up maybe to 2 trillion. Here's who actually has more power. Moderates want to get this, they want to get a $1.5 trillion deal done because there is human infrastructure that is needed here in the United States. So yes, they want to get this deal done, but more importantly, they want to get that $1.2 trillion bill done. Progressives? Yeah, they want to get the $1.2 trillion bill done. However, they say it's more important to get this potentially $2.5 to $3.5 trillion bill done. So technically, based off of experts' evaluation of our current situation, progressives have a little bit more power right now because they do have a 96-member caucus. However, moderates hold power just because it's Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema at this time. And according to multiple media outlets, President Biden is pretty much dealing with them like they are children and that he needs to step up his negotiations. Today, he said he will be negotiating. So we will see what happens there. We do know that the White House says it is nearing its end of its patience, that right now President Biden wants to get this deal done. Multiple lawmakers are already discussing the next bill, the next budget reconciliation. I addressed this yesterday, and many of you guys were just absolutely, you guys were completely lost as to why would lawmakers start addressing and potentially discussing the next budget reconciliation when they can't even get this one done, right? Well, here's the reason why. Democrats know that pieces of this bill will not pass. There's multiple pieces of this that will not get passed. They will pretty much get axed, okay? So whatever doesn't get passed in this Build Back Better Act will actually get passed in the next one, according to the reports. So whatever is not going to be in this bill will be in the next bill. Whether or not that passes, honestly, we don't know. Whether there's stimulus checks, again, we don't know. If there's 2 years of the child tax credit payments in this bill, does that mean the other 2 years will go to the next bill? Again, we don't know. Lawmakers don't know. The White House doesn't know. So how are we expected to know any of this stuff either? But here's what I can tell you. Free community college that was in this Build Back Better plan, well, according to reports today, that is going to be axed. There is no way that will be included. Senator Kyrsten Sinema, she doesn't support increased tax hikes either. She doesn't want to see that the wealthier individuals are paying this higher tax. She doesn't want to see large corporations paying a larger tax. Right now, these additional taxes, according to the Congressional Budget Office, are going to bring in about $700 billion in revenue over 10 years. So this is a very large percentage of this $3.5 trillion is just in this. Okay, this would actually this would be 2 years because it comes out about $350 billion. Well, this would pretty much cover 2 years. We'll see what happens, but if it's just passing a bill at $1.5 or $2 trillion, chances are we're going to see cuts, and chances are we could see the tax increases either come down or just completely gone away. They will just be done away with. So just understand that that could be a possibility. Moderate Democrats today said that they actually want to pause their plans to raise taxes on overseas profits until 2022 or possibly later. They say right now, raising corporate taxes is still something that they want to do, especially with overseas profits. However, they want to see other countries implement these changes first, see how it impacts them, see how it impacts businesses conducting business in that country, right? That's what they want to see. So we'll see what happens, but we're coming to the end of the negotiations according to the White House, but yet now we're starting to see more updates and more changes. And that's actually making me very worried that we're going to see so many changes at the very end that the whole deal is just going to be scrapped and they're going to have to start over. And again, that could be devastating to many people. One thing that we are continuing to see, though, is the hardlining from both sides. Progressives say they won't go below $2.5 trillion. However, President Biden says we need to pass something between 1.9 and 2.3. Okay. Well, Senator Joe Manchin says he won't support anything over 1.5, yet multiple White House aides have said if pushed, he could accept $2 trillion. Yeah, we could see, Joe Manchin swayed to $2 trillion, but according to reports, it would not come without buying his vote. And in order to buy his vote, according to the reports, it would be by cutting big spending bills that progressives currently have. And progressives have 5 main priorities, 5 main pillars right now. These main pillars, or major pillars really, are climate change, immigration reform, which that could be on the verge of being axed as well. We got affordable housing, we got Medicare expansion, and investing in the care economy for children. Here's what I can tell you. This bill was originally titled the American Families Plan. This was supposed to be for families. But what happened? Everybody came out and said, well, what about us? What about us without children? What about us on Social Security? What about us veterans? What about us? And then instead of Congress or the White House saying, oh, you know what? You're right. We're forgetting about the people without children. The college students, the elderly, people on disability that aren't working, do not have children, do not get Social Security, or maybe they do, but it's still not enough. It's keeping them poor. What about them? Well, the White House decided, or pretty much the whole Biden administration and Congress decided, let's not address that. The easier thing to do is let's just change the title of this American Families Plan and let's call it the Build Back Better Act. You know how disgraceful that is? And let me ask you this, because I know I read your guys' comments and I see it all the time. When are they going to address us on Social Security? When are they going to address us without children? The honest truth, people on Social Security, maybe, just maybe, small chance, you get potentially a $1,000 stimulus debit card, right? This is going to help you pay for the expansion of Medicare for the time being, probably 1 to 2 years. People without children, what is there for you? Well, there's not going to be a lot. Maybe you have children. The one benefit, though, if you don't have children, you're not married, is there's actually a portion of this bill that's actually hurts people that are married due to taxes. So that could be one of the things that lawmakers are saying, oh, well, we'll just give you this benefit. You don't have to pay as much in taxes, right? So that's really all we're seeing. Honestly, it's sad to see that right now it's just people, families, people with children, right? Those are the main ones that are getting any of this. And I know people on Social Security that have been getting screwed ever since the pandemic started. So that's the hard part right now is, again, and this is one of the main pillars, is the care economy for children. But according to President Biden, he says we have to invest in our children. We have to invest in our youth, because if we don't, we cannot be competitive against other nations. So according to them, they do have a plan. Well, Democrats also have additional plans, and one of them has to pretty much deal with the debt ceiling. Here's what we know. The government has enough money to pay its debts until December 3rd, 2021. At that time, we will breach our debt ceiling, but Democrats say we have a plan. Democrats say that Mitch McConnell tried to bluff his way through the debt ceiling increase the last time, which actually happened last Thursday. Well, they said come December, he is going to be bluffing again, and they are counting on him to vote again to raise the debt ceiling alongside them. So at this time, the big plan from Democrats, and I don't know if I agree with this, but the big plan from Democrats is they're not going to worry about the debt ceiling just yet. They are going to wait because they say Republicans, they will not allow the U.S. to default on its debts. They will raise the debt ceiling or suspend it for another couple months. Well, here's the plan, okay? And I want to break this down because reading between the lines, there is a plan here. It is not to permanently increase the debt ceiling. It's not to permanently suspend the debt ceiling. According to reports, okay? Right, and keep this in mind, Democrats have a budget reconciliation bill right now. They can use budget reconciliation to raise the debt ceiling to a specific amount of their choosing. They do not need a single Republican vote. They can do this. But by doing this, they would actually have to scrap the whole budget reconciliation or the human infrastructure bill, which could potentially be $1.5 to maybe $2.5 trillion, right? Well, here's the problem. If Democrats do this, they would have to do it by November 12th. That would be the latest they can do this. Or they risk the U.S. defaulting on its debts because it would take about 3 weeks to get a budget reconciliation done for the debt ceiling. Or the other option, they could put the debt ceiling increase into the human infrastructure bill. The problem there is the human infrastructure bill at this time is having so many issues, we don't know if it's even going to pass. But here's the other plan. And this is me reading between the lines and looking at what experts are anticipating. Experts anticipate that Democrats, and again, you can go and search for this. It's not going to be there, okay? This is me reading between the lines. This is what I can see happening, okay? So if you go and try to read and try to look up this story, it's not going to be there, okay? This is my take. What I anticipate happening is if Democrats push all the way until, let's say, December 3rd, or let's say December 2nd, whatever date, right? What I see happening is Republicans are not going to vote to raise the debt ceiling to whatever level Democrats want. What I could see happening, and this is probably the Democratic plan, is to hopefully get Mitch McConnell Republicans to agree to let's raise the debt ceiling once more for another maybe 2 months, right? And maybe until not December, not January, maybe February 3rd, let's raise it 2 more months. Just to get Democrats into the 2022 calendar year. Because in 2022, Democrats would actually have another budget reconciliation. So again, this is my take. My anticipation is Mitch McConnell will keep pushing this back until Democrats decide to do the budget reconciliation on their own, because Republicans want Democrat fingers all over the debt ceiling. Because if we see inflation, if we see any other issues, Republicans next year, when they are running their campaigns, they can point the fingers at Democrats and be like, you know what, you did this. It's not us, it is you. You raised the debt ceiling, this is your fault. So that's my expectation is if it gets pushed off into December, I expect Mitch McConnell and Republicans just maybe, Mitch McConnell said he will not bail out Senator Schumer anymore. He will not do it once again. But my expectation is he would do it one more time, push them off into 2022 where Democrats could use their next budget reconciliation. My guess is Democrats are planning for this. My guess is Republicans know this is what Democrats are going to do, and so they are just going to buy time. But again, we will see. That is just my expectation as of right now. So here's what I can tell you. Let me just ask you this question. Do you think it's a smart move for Democrats to be risking a potential government default just because they believe Republicans are bluffing? Would you be that, would you do something like that? Because that's a huge risk. That's a huge bluff. Is if Democrats get all the way to December 3rd, it turns over, it's midnight, and December 4th, we do not have a deal, nothing signed, we would default on our debts. Would you do that? That's just, I just want to know. Because I think that is a huge risk. But again, that's just me. So that is what we know as of right now. Again, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share more. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Have an incredible weekend as well. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.